All right, so following on from his win last night, Arslanbek Makhmudov has mentioned the name Anthony Joshua. Now, going into this fight with Dave Allen, we seen some Instagram DMs that were leaked where AJ was essentially saying, "You beat Dave Allen, you're next," right? So he mentioned Arslanbek, or he mentioned Anthony Joshua in the subsequent interview with Jamie Ward, and Anthony Joshua has mentioned as well. Now, I'll see if I can find the quote from AJ. I think it was on the Ring Magazine's account. Just give me a sec there. Oh, yeah, there it is. Anthony Joshua, let me know when, brother. That was, oh, sorry, that was to Anthony Joshua. I thought it was Anthony Joshua saying it to, I thought it was Anthony Joshua saying it the other way around. For me, right, Anthony Joshua is coming back next year. We don't fully know when. Deontay Wilder, we're hearing maybe back in January. We're hearing AJ maybe back in January, February. But either way, AJ is coming back early 2026. Eddie Hearn has talked about wanting to do a Fury fight. Obviously, maybe do a Fury, two fights, one fight, have it, whatever happens, happens, and then do a rematch. He's been talking about that. And obviously, AJ has been fixated on the Fury fight for a long time now, in particular after Fury lost both fights to Usyk. That's the fight that seems to be the fight for me that AJ wants more than anything. He wants that Fury fight. I think he's come to the realization, as many of us have, that the three-time heavyweight champion of the world, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely it's going to happen, right? Unfortunately for him, because I have a lot of time for AJ, but it's not going to happen certainly the way the landscape is now, it seems unlikely, right? So after that, you want to end that rivalry with Tyson Fury the best way you can, which is in the ring. That's the only way to do it. We've heard the back and forths over the years. It goes back to the sparring sessions they had before AJ was even pro. When Fury was on his hiatus and AJ was unified champion, it seemed like every day Fury was mentioning him, this, that, and the other. It's been all this back and forth. We've never had it. We've never had the fight, right? So it seems like that's the road AJ's going to go down. But Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, they're not stupid. They know that AJ's been out of the ring for a year, well over a year now. And his last performance, he was knocked out devastatingly by Daniel Dubois. He's also suffered an injury. I think it was an elbow or a shoulder injury, one or the other. So, he's had to go through a lot over the last year, over the last 12 or so months. So they've spoken about having a comeback fight against someone not of necessarily the highest level. We're not talking about, a journeyman or anything like that, but we're talking about a name who maybe will not upset the apple cart, so to speak. In steps Arslanbek Makhmudov, because he is coming off a win over Dave Allen on a big show in Sheffield where there was thousands upon thousands in there. It looked really good. It looked really good in there. It looked like a really good atmosphere. So Makhmudov, off the back of that, a lot of people are going to be knowing him, a lot of people are going to be talking about him. It seems like a natural fight to make. It really does, especially considering the fact that his record is not terrible. He's only got two defeats against, Adrian Caballel, no shame there whatsoever, top heavyweight. Guido Vianello, well, he got a win last night over an undefeated guy. I think he was Canadian, that guy he beat last night. So, the losses aren't the worst. Big puncher, looks mean, looks scary. Man, you wouldn't want to meet Makhmudov in a dark alley. Hell no. Scary as hell that guy is. Holy crap. Seriously. So yeah, I think it's a sellable fight. I think for me that fight is more sellable than Tony Yoka, because we did hear Tony Yoka's name being mentioned and stuff like that. I think, genuinely speaking, that's more sellable than a Yoka fight. No respect to Yoka, but it just is. I think as well, in terms of winnability, I'd be fair, I'd be picking AJ over Yoka as well. But I think in terms of a winnable fight, AJ will light Arslanbek Makhmudov up like a Christmas tree. Honestly, AJ will go in there, and it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if AJ fights Makhmudov next and people then have him as favourite to be Fury and are actually saying things like, this is the best version we've seen of AJ. I won't be saying that. I'll just be saying, well, Makhmudov is as slow as molasses, about as graceful as an elephant, has no defense whatsoever when you back him up. And all you need to do is just offload on him, because he's not really got much to come back with. He is a big puncher, to be fair, but he's very limited, unbelievably limited. And AJ won't be able to miss him. AJ will have a harder time missing Makhmudov, even if he is gun shy, which I think he probably will be. But I'd say once he's in there and sees, holy crap, this guy, I can land at will on this guy, he'll probably be all right. He'll probably be able to, find the trigger and pull it. AJ is he's just gonna light him up. He's gonna light him up in there. And I think that Makhmudov is the perfect opponent to put AJ in there with. I don't want to use the word rehabilitation fight, but that's essentially kind of what it is. It's a rehabilitation fight as such. You want to get him a win to build his confidence, but you don't want to be going and doing essentially what you did 2 years ago. In fact, you actually did it in reverse 2 years ago. Put him in with Jermaine Franklin, who turned out to be the hardest of those comeback fights before he fought Dubois and got stopped. In theory, they did it wrong. They ended it with Ngannou, which was just a novice. Ottavalian, who we should have probably had the comeback fight against, because Ottavalian was absolute dogs, you know what, in that fight. And AJ felt comfy as hell in there. That would have been the perfect opponent to put him in there with straight away. Then you had Hellenius, who, yeah, short notice, fair enough, understandably so, but didn't look good in that fight. And then, well, we know Jermaine Franklin is he's a tricky operator in there. And that was the hardest one. So they did it in particularly bad order. And again, the matchmaking again for me, it was like, okay, Ottavalian was the only one that I could say, you got that one spot on. The rest of them, no. I think Makhmudov is perfect because he's at that level without going over it. And stylistically, I just think AJ lights him up. Honestly, I can't see AJ losing that fight. I think he'll light Makhmudov up like a Christmas tree. He really will. So for me, Makhmudov versus AJ next, 110%. 110%. Get it done. Get it over the line. Makhmudov wants it. I'm sure AJ will look at what Dave Allen did in the spots when he actually did let his hands go and think, oh my God, I am way more formidable offense. And he is way more formidable offensively than Dave Allen. Way more. Throws much better shorter shots, much better combination puncher, much harder puncher. And Dave Allen's uppercut was snapping the head of Makhmudov back. AJ, underrated uppercut. They don't talk enough about it. It's a phenomenal uppercut. Look at the Kubrat, look at the Klitschko, Pulev. He didn't use it enough against Usyk, but when he did, it actually was successful. AJ will take the head clean off Makhmudov, in my opinion, if they fight next. In my opinion. So that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about that. For now, I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Hope the sound is sounding okay. And actually, I'm using the good iPhone camera on this one, the new one, the one we use back home in London. That's the main camera. So hope it looks all right. Hope it does. And until next time, until tomorrow for review of the week, I'll leave it there.